So today is Lord Nrsimhadev's appearance day, and Nrsimha Chaturdashi. So because of that, we are just going to discuss about Lord Nrsimhadev's pastimes. So the seventh canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, from the second chapter, actually begins to narrate the activities concerning Prahlad Maharaj and Nrsimhadev. Starts up with Hiranyakashipu, the king of the demons, and we can see that it is such an important chapter. It begins with Hiranyakashipu and his brother Hiranyaksha. At the time of creation, everything actually started from Lord Brahma. So Brahma had few sons from his mind, Manasaputras, and then they started the procreation and called Prajapatis. Prajapati. Praja means subject or subordinates, and Pati, the leaders, the Lord. So these are the very, very important, very, very powerful personalities. And Brahma, in this way, Kashyapa became one of the main progenitors. He was Brahma's grandson in a way. This Atri, Pulasta, Pulaha, Marichi, Angira, and from them came Kashyapa, and Kashyapa had 13 wives, and from them different progeny came, and one of them was Diti. So Diti, one evening actually, she became sexually agitated and compelled her husband to have sex with her. And her husband warned her that it's not an appropriate time but she was so overwhelmed with her urge that finally Kashyapa had to unite with her. And as a result of that, 2 sons were born, and they became demons, Daityas, because they're sons of Diti. From her, they got the name Daitya. Similarly, another wife of Kashyapa was Aditi, and from her came the Adityas, or demigods. And this anecdote even goes back to once 4 Kumaras, Sanak, Sanatan, Sanantan, and Sanat Kumar. They went to Vaikuntha, and they are actually the first 4 sons of Brahma. But they are so absorbed in their spiritual identity and attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead that when Brahma asked them to assist him in procreation, they declined. So they were the first 4 sons, and they did not change their form. Their form is just like 5-year-old children. And so when they went to Vaikuntha, the gatekeepers of Vaikuntha, whose business is to keep the door, keep the gate, and not allow just anyone and everyone to enter. So they fail to recognize the exalted position of these 4 children. They're actually the eldest people, the oldest people in this universe, but they look like just say some 4 or 5 years old. And they, Jai and Vijay, protected them, prevented them from entering, and they became furious. And they cursed Jai and Vijay, the gatekeepers. Now this anecdote, this history goes even further. The Lord in Vaikuntha cannot experience one mellow. Like you know that there are 5 permanent relationships, 5 sthayi bhav, called Santya, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhur. Mellow of neutrality, servitorship, friendship, parental and conjugal. And there are 7 secondary mellows. There's laughter, surprise, Veera, chivalry, wonder, Veer Adbhut, Bhayanak, ghastly, Bhayanak, frightening, Bibhatsa, ghastly, and Karun, pathos. So in Vaikuntha, the Lord cannot experience Viraras, the mellow of chivalry. So they just desired, we wish that we could allow the Lord to experience that mellow. In Vaikuntha, the Lord doesn't get that, but we will enable him to experience that mellow. Meaning the mellow that, or the mood, or the feelings that the Lord will feel by fighting with somebody. So, because the desire that the arrangement was actually happening in this way. They were cursed. But behind the curse is actually their desire to serve the Lord. In Vaikuntha, the Lord cannot get that mellow. So I wish we could enable him this mellow. So we have to see that they're guards, so they are powerful people. The guards are not just anybody. They're warriors. So they had that feeling, and as a result of that, all this happened. The 4 Kumaras came, cursed them, and then the Lord, realizing that some very exalted personalities have been offended, so he just came himself and pacified them. And he told these gatekeepers that since you have been cursed, you'll fall down to the material nature. That's the curse was. You are not fit to be in Vaikuntha. You haven't been able to become free from the concept of duality. So in the material nature is a world of duality. Duality means seeing good and bad. In this world, everything is a duality. Good and bad, desirable, undesirable, heat and cold, love and hate. So everything has a duality here. So they had to fall down. The Lord asked them, so you see, since they cursed you, you have to go down to the material nature. Now, I'm giving you an option. If you go there and remain as a devotee, then you'll have to take 7 births, and then you'll come back to Vaikuntha. And the other option is, you'll become my enemy. Then you'll be there for 3 births, and then he'll come back. So they opted for becoming an enemy. So now we can see they wanted to give the Lord the feeling of Viraras. Now in order to fight, in order to experience Viraras, there has to be fight. And in order to fight, he has to become the Lord's enemy. So that's how it was actually arranged. In this way we can see that Vedic wisdom is so precise, so accurate, that when one goes into it properly, of course under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master, everything falls in the right slot. Everything just fits in perfectly. And it's a pity that people, due to the atheistic influence of this world, people do not want to accept the wisdom of the Vedas. They're missing out on such a wealth. And when an intelligent person sees it in a right way. But the problem is that in order to see things the right way, you have to see the entire picture. Unless you have the entire picture, you can't get that right understanding. And that's why we need the guidance of somebody who has seen the entire picture. And then he can explain to us. And that person is a spiritual master who has seen the entire picture. It's not possible to see the entire picture. It's so vast. Therefore, everyone needs a teacher. Even a guru needs a teacher. Therefore, he is a guru. He has a teacher who has seen the entire picture. And his guru is the one who saw the entire picture from the right source. And that's why this disciplic succession, the chain of disciplic succession, is very, very important to receive this perfect knowledge. And when we receive the knowledge, then our faith becomes fixed. And that's why I always urge you all to read Prabhupada's books. Read Prabhupada's books. Because when you read Prabhupada's books, you get a perfect and clear picture. It has been mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhurini Bhuri Karmani Shrotabhani Vibhagash. Vedas are vast. Bhurini. The Bhuri Karmani, innumerable activities have been prescribed. And unless and until one has the total picture, one cannot, unless and until one has studied the whole thing, one cannot get the proper understanding. Which actually means unless and until one has the total picture. And then only we can understand the Vedas, the real message of the Vedas. So anyway, Joy and Vijay came down to the earth planet as Diti's two sons. Extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. And we can see also the result of auspicious time and inauspicious time. We can't just say any time is good enough, let me do. No. When you do something, you have to measure, you have to calculate, or you have to find out whether the time is right for this action or not. This evening time is very good for spiritual activity. Mornings and evenings and noontime, 3 sandhas, 3 very auspicious time in a day, when the night is turning into day, early morning, midday, when the pre-noon is merging into afternoon. Morning is merging into afternoon. Meridian. AM and PM. Ante-meridian and past meridian. And then in the evening, the time when day is turning into night. So these times are very good for auspicious activities. But this sexual act can become very inauspicious when it is performed at a wrong time. So this is another aspect of the Vedic culture. One gets the also concept of time, influence of stars and planets affecting living entities, influence of demigods influencing living entities, and that is Jyotish. So these are all science, so many branches of science that has been given in the Vedas. Similarly, there is Vastu. Vastu, the science of architecture. Not the whole architecture, one aspect of architecture, like how the building should be, in which part, which direction should be different parts of the house. Main thing is the Brahmastan, the center. Brahmastan, the center of the house. And then Vastu is seen as a personality. His head is in one direction, his feet are in another direction, his hands are in another direction. So this is how his body is. And naturally, certain activities are conducive to the head. So where the Vastu person's head is there, those activities should be there. Certain activities are conducive to Vastu Puru's legs. So it's another science actually. Then the medical science, Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, the art of using weapons. It's not just shooting an arrow. Those arrows are being empowered with very, very powerful means by chanting mantras. And there are various weapons that actually belong to various personalities. Like in today's world, we know only Agneastra, fire weapons. Even the nuclear weapons are fire weapons, Agni. But there are Vayu weapon, there are water weapon, there are sound weapon, and then the weapons of different demigods, weapons of Indra, weapons of Varun, weapons of Gandharva, weapon of Brahma, Brahmastra. Then it goes even beyond that, Pashupat, the weapon of Lord Shiva. So this is how advanced the Vedic culture is, but people are missing out on that. So Hiranyakashipu became very powerful, both Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. And Hiranyaksha caused the earth planet to fall in the lower region. Lower region is where the lower planetary systems are. And upper planets are the upper planetary systems are auspicious. Lower planetary auspiciousness is again relative to purity. And lower planetary systems are related to impurity, the impurity of consciousness. The more pure one becomes in consciousness, he is elevated to higher planets in the universe. But those whose consciousness is impure, polluted, they go to to the lower planetary systems. And what is the consideration of impurity and purity? When the consciousness is more akin to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it's pure. It may not be directly to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but his arrangement. Like, for example, a law-abiding citizen may not be directly related to the king. He is not directly related to the king, but if he abides by the law that has been given by the king, that will cause him to be related close to the king. And those who reject or deny the law of the king, they are far away from the king. They are not related to the king directly, but indirectly they become related. So similarly, in this universe, those who abide by the laws given by the Lord, through the arrangement that he has, through the demigods as controllers of different affairs of the universe, those who abide by that arrangement, they're close to the Lord. They're clean. Those who do not accept that, they're demons. And so the demons, Hiranyaksha, and Earth planet was in the orbit. Actually, as you know, the Earth is moving in the orbit. But she lost the ability to stay she is able to stay in the orbit because of gold. Gold is an element that actually creates the Earth to remain in the orbit. But Hiranyaksha was so fond of gold. Hiranya Aksha. Hiranya means gold and Aksha means eyes. His eyes are always looking for gold. So this is the characteristics of a mundane person. He's always looking for money. Where is money? Where is money? And it is not just the eyes, it is the eye of the heart. The heart is saying, where is money? Where is money? Let me have money. Those days it was gold which determined the wealth. Now it's a paper currency. The imposed value has been imposed in that. So he took all the gold away, and as a result of that, earth fell. And then the Lord came as a boar to lift the earth. And in the meantime, Hiranyaksha was wandering around, defeating everybody. He had a mace in his hand, and he was so powerful that he was defeating all the demigods. And so these kind of people, they look for somebody to fight. We see that also here, like championship. Like one person becomes the best, defeating others. Then somebody else comes and challenges, okay, let's see how powerful you are. Boxing championship, heavyweight championship, there are different weights. And accordingly they just meet the opponents and remaining in the same weight range. And so he went to Varun Dev, demigod, challenged him to fight. Varun knew that he's so powerful that he's not going to stand any chance. So he said, look, I'm not a proper match for you. If fighting with me, you won't really get the joy that you are hankering for. So he said that, then who is my match? So Varun said, Hari. Where is Hari? Well, Hari, you have to search for him. It's very difficult to find him. But when one searches for him sincerely enough, then Hari appears to him. And at that time, Hiranyaksha saw that Varahadev was lifting the earth, and he was very upset. Who dares to do things without my permission? And Hari, as Varahadev, placed the earth in the orbit again and then faced the challenge. A tremendous fight ensued. They fought for a long time. The demigods were watching. They thought, well, looks like finally he met his right match. Is this Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead? We invest in a board like that. Like such huge, gigantic boar. And the way he is fighting, like. And so they thought that this must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then the Lord, at one point, he also was fighting with a mace. And his mace actually fell from his hand. So now he's exposed to be hit by this demon. So demigods cried out, my Lord, as it is, our life is in our throat, out of anxiety. And at any moment it may leave the body. So please don't put us in any more anxiety. Please kill this demon. So the Lord just slapped him with his hand. And Hiranyakashipu started to roll, fell and died. So that is how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. He doesn't need any weapon to fight with him, just one slap is good enough. Same thing with Krishna and Kamsa. Kamsa took his, as soon as Krishna jumped on to the podium, elevated platform, Kamsa pulled out his sword and shield. That's how they fight. They protect the attack with the shield and they strike with the sword. But he couldn't strike Krishna. He was barehanded. And then finally Krishna also just one slap. And Kamsa started to reel. And then he just dragged him down to the arena. So this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all-powerful. Who can be, the person who has created everything and who is maintaining everything, who can be a match to him? The living entity is just one insignificant, tiny little particle, atomic part. So we can see, like when you look at the living entity situation, he is just one spark of life. A ray, like if we consider the Lord to be the sun, then a living entity is just like one ray of the sun. So how can a ray compete with the sun? But living entities, coming to the material nature, they become so puffed up that they think that they are greater than the Lord. That is the influence of false ego. And that is the influence of the illusory energy of the Lord. We fail to recognize our identity due to our forgetfulness of Krishna, and seeing in the material nature, which is inferior, we think we are the most superior. We are the supreme. Anyway, so Hiranyaksha was killed. The news reached Hiranyakashipu and the family. And Hiranyakashipu advised all the members of the family with very, very exalted spiritual understanding. We discussed one day about that in the evening class. But then he decided that now I must take revenge. You killed my brother, I'm going to kill you. It's something like a man standing there and tiny little ant is standing up against the man. I will show you. What can the ant do? But still, the man may not even see the ant challenging him like that. But the Lord, who is situated in everyone's heart, He knows how one is reacting towards Him. The Lord says, okay, fine. You want to fight with me? You want to challenge me? Okay. And the person says, the ant says, I'll become so powerful that I'll defeat the man. And he goes, and according to the ant calculation, it was a terrible austerity that the ant performed. So this performs, the demoniac people performing austerities to gather power is something like that. From their own calculation, it is so terrible austerity he performed. The ant's whole body was eaten up by microbes. So even smaller living entities. And the ant was so powerful, he was standing there. And everything was eaten up, only his shell is there. With human beings, we have the bones. Ants don't have bones. So they have only the shell, outer covering. Anyway, so Hiranyakashipu performed severe austerities. And Brahma came, and Brahma also is a demigod, so he has to give things according to a person's ability, person's natural deserving. Oh, you perform so much activity, so much austerity, so you'll get benefit, you'll get punya. So Brahma's capacity is like that. He doesn't have himself to make the arrangements. But the Lord has given that, well, when one acts in this way, that will be the result. When he acts in that way, that will be the result. So the arrangement is austerity will give piety. So Brahma came, and according to his austerity, Brahma benedicted him. He wanted to become immortal, but Brahma told him that he can't make you immortal. But you could ask anything else. And he was asking, okay, you won't make me immortal, fine. No created being will be able to, no being created by you will be able to kill me. Fine. I won't be killed by any weapon. I won't be killed during the day or night. I won't be killed inside my house or outside my house. I won't be killed in the space or land or water. I won't be killed during the day or night. Like all these benedictions he was asking, and Brahma gave him one after another. Fine, 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 take them. And he became so powerful. Then finally, Lord came to kill him. And he had to kill him. The Lord also cannot be unfair. So he also has to abide by the law that he himself created. And when Hiranyakashipu started to chastise his son, who was a great devotee, then the Lord came. Because that's one thing the Lord cannot tolerate. Offenses to his devotee. So that made Hiranyakashipu to become qualified to be killed by the Lord. And finally he came on this particular day, Nishinga Chaturdashi, he asked Prahlad, he tried to kill Prahlad in so many ways, but Prahlad couldn't be killed. So he asked, okay, you are defying my order, you are defying my authority. So he pulled out his own sword and said that, let me see how your Hari can protect you. You say Hari is everywhere. Tell me, where is Hari? Is he in that pillar? Yes. Prahlad's response was, yes, he is in that pillar also. So he just struck the pillar with his hand and the pillar broke. And there was a sound. The sound was so terrible that it seemed that the whole universe started to shake. But they couldn't see the source of the sound, where the sound was coming. But then they saw an amazing creature coming out from there. He is the head of a lion and the body of a man. Narsimha, half man, half lion. Nara Hari. Hari also is another name of a lion. Half man, half lion. And Hiranyakashipu, along with his soldiers, they all attacked. But who can stand in front of the Lord? And then finally, at the time when the day is just about to turn into night, he caught Hiranyakashipu. Just as Garuda catches a huge snake. When the snakes meet Garuda, that's the end of their life. Therefore, when they see Garuda, even when they hear the name Garuda, the snakes run for their life. So snakes are Garuda's eternal enemy. So he caught him and he placed himself sat on the doorway, like which is not inside the house or outside the house. He placed him on his lap, which is not sky or land, his lap. And with his nails he tore his body apart, pulled out his intestine. And he wrapped the intestine around his neck. The Lord was so angry. But in that respect also there is one point. Why the Lord wrapped the intestine around his neck? The answer to that is because the semen passes through the intestine. And because Prahlad's soul traveled through his intestine to come to his mother's womb, Hiranyakashipu considered that, Narsimha Dev considered Hiranyakashipu's intestine to be glorious. So he put it on as a garland. So this is how merciful the Lord is. The intestine is so disgusting, and that also a demon's intestine. But because Prahlad's soul traveled through that intestine, he considered to be glorious. So in this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead killed Hiranyakashipu. So we can see Hiranyakashipu got so many ways, he tried so many ways to make himself immortal. But when it comes to the Lord, no one can actually stand a chance because, okay, fine, I won't be killed by any man or demigod, Gandharva, snake, any animal, human beings, and so forth. Half man, half lion. Is it a man or an animal? So, this is how intelligent the Lord is. Or this is how inconceivable the Lord's potency is. He won't be killed inside the house or outside the house, okay? Doorstep. Is it inside or outside? He sat there. He won't be killed in the sky or in the land, lap. He won't be killed during the day or night, twilight, when it's neither day nor night. Brahma Vaivarta Puran actually has another aspect of it. He won't be killed by anything that is wet or dry. That is also another consideration there. But this hasn't been added is not there in Srimad Bhagavatam. A nail is neither wet nor dry. So with that which is not a weapon, just nails tore open his body. So this is how the Lord appeared. Keshavadhrita Narahari Rupa, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. Jai Nrsimhadev, Jai Nrsimhadev, Jai Nrsimhadev, Jai Nrsimhadev. Jai Prahlad Maharaj, Jai Prahlad Maharaj, Jai Prahlad Maharaj, Jai Prahlad Maharaj, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. So, is there any question? Okay. Okay, so there's a question from Shivendra Das, Chitrakoot, UP. Oh, Hare Krishna, Shivendra Prabhu. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam. Guru Maharaj, we see in case of Ambarish Maharaj, when Durvasha Muni cursed him, Lord took it as a Vaishnava offense and was not ready to forgive him. But in case of Chatur Kumar, when they cursed Joy and Vijay, he didn't. No, like here also God didn't interfere. Just as when Durvasha Muni went to the Lord and he said, I cannot do anything. The person you have committed offense to, you have to go and beg forgiveness from him. So here also the Lord didn't interfere. He said, you got the curse, so it will happen. But he gave them option, well, the curse has been there, now you decide whether you want to be there for 7 lifetimes or 3 lifetimes. And they selected 3 lifetimes. We know that Joy and Vijay are eternal associates of Lord and pure devotees. Then also, when they were cursed by 4 Kumars, Lord didn't take it in a way He took in case of Durvasha Muni. Please enlighten, how can we understand these 2 responses from Lord seeking your causeless blessings in this auspicious day? Well, I don't understand, what is the difference? In there also, he didn't interfere, and here also he didn't interfere. They got cursed, And as I said, like you have to go to the background, why this arrangement is being made. This arrangement is being made in such a way that their desire to serve the Lord through Viraras will be fulfilled. Their falling down and becoming demons was their desire to serve the Lord. Through this fighting with the Lord, they are serving the Lord. And if you have, further, if you didn't understand the point, then you can write to me again. So next question is Chittahari Krishna Das. Okay, Ujjain. As per the curse of 4 Kumaras, Jai and Vijay had to take birth in material nature, and they came as demons in 3 times in 3 yugas. Then how can we count Jagai and Madhai of Kali Yuga? Yeah. In 3 yugas they became demons, and the 4th time they became delivered. Right? So 3 times they had to take birth. And after that they became delivered. All right?
4th time also they came.
They came. The 4th time was due to the arrangement of the 3rd time. That's one way of looking at it. Another reason is, we have to see that Mahaprabhu's identity is hidden. Therefore, it is not openly mentioned. So we have to count it this way. 3 times he will take birth, right? And the 4th times he'll get delivered. After that he'll get delivered. So 4th birth is delivered, so it's not counted. Okay? The Lord has his own way of counting. Also, Jogamaya has his own way of counting. Ratnangi Radha, Mumbai. Earlier I was thinking for eye donation and body donation, but after coming in Krishna consciousness I heard that we should not do this. But I don't know the reason. Yesterday I told it is important for our next birth that after death our remains should be poured into a pious river. When we know soul is different from our body, then how to understand this? So, okay, Ratnangi Radha. The first question is, we don't appreciate the donating different parts of the body. Because we don't believe in this kind of, patch-up work. Nature's arrangement, you got the body, you use the body, when the body is finished, then you leave the body and go, and let the body burn. But these are all modern demoniac arrangements. He doesn't have an eye, so let me give him an eye. He doesn't have a kidney, let's give him a kidney. They are not seeing that he doesn't have a kidney because of his own karmic reactions. He doesn't have an eye because of his karma. So demigods have decided, why interfere into the arrangements of the demigods? Have you become greater than the demigods that you are trying to change his destiny? That's why we say that don't donate the parts of your bodies. Another thing is that if a part remains, then you may not be able to leave and go to the next destination. If you remain attached to the part, then you'll remain here as a ghost. Is it good to remain as a ghost here, not have a body? Just because, your one part of your body is left, and because of your attachment to that part, you are there. So this is how scientific the Vedic understanding is. So don't disregard that, just abide by that. And then the second part is, yesterday you told it is important for our next birth that after death our remains should be offered in a pious river. When you know soul is different from the body, then how to understand this? Yes, soul is different from the body, but this soul is attached to the body here. Yes, the soul is different from the body. But in this material nature, everyone is thinking that his body is his soul, his body is his self. And in that context, there are some arrangements that the Lord made. That the holy rivers are there. If the remains of the body is offered in the river, he gets spiritual benefit. If one leaves his body in touch with the water from those rivers or in touch of tulasi, then one derives spiritual benefits. So that's why it's a matter of taking spiritual benefit. And this is how the soul gets benefited. Do you understand that the soul is stuck in the body now? You may think, theoretically, you may think that you are the soul, but have you realized that you are the soul and not the body? What happens when you are hungry? Is it the body is hungry or the soul is hungry? But don't you say, I am hungry? So who are you then? So this is how we have to recognize the platform that we are in now. So there is no need to artificially pretend anything. If you can come to that realization, that's very good. But the point is, the body's remains are there. We do not know where the soul is going to go. If the soul is destined to go to hell, then if the body is put in Ganga, then he gets an opportunity to get out of the hell. That's why we put the remains of the body after cremation to the holy rivers. Because we do not know where the soul is going to go, carried by the subtle body. Therefore, these arrangements are made so that he can become, he can benefit spiritually. Next is Ashish Agarwal from Bhopal. Guru Maharaj, as you told, the Lord wants to enjoy Vira Rasa with devotee gods, so they took birth as demons. But these demons gave so many sufferings to saints, earthly people, that even Mother Earth was become quite worried. Yes, as we told so many times, nothing happens by chance. Like, look at the situation today. We may say, why this coronavirus came in this way and the whole world is suffering? So, when you look at that, how the whole world was behaving. And that's why the coronavirus came as a reaction of their action. And sometimes, they cause distress. And we have to understand here that when even the saintly persons are suffering, there must be some reason behind that. Nothing is happening. Maybe some birth in the past, the saintly person had done something, and as a result of that, it's happening. One way of looking at it. But you may say, well, the saintly persons are actually devotees. So Krishna said, when one surrenders unto him, he takes care of all his sinful reactions. When you look at it from that perspective, then we have to see that it was actually Krishna's arrangement. Apparently, they left their body, went back to Golok Vrindavan or Vaikuntha. Just like his own family members, Jadus. They're fighting with each other, they killed themselves. But what happened? They went back to Vaikuntha. So what happens to the body, that's not so important. What happens to the soul, that matters. An example that I give sometimes, that sometimes a doctor has to operate on a patient, an emergency case. Somebody had an accident, brought to the hospital, and what does the doctor do? Cuts his cloth, right? And to go to the wound and operate upon him. So his cloth is cut to reach to the body to operate. Similarly, sometimes the body may be destroyed in order to reach the soul. So when when a doctor, when a surgeon cuts open the shirt, oh, such an expensive shirt and a coat. Look, what did he do? Do we say that? Similarly, for the spiritual accomplishment, if the material body goes, let it go. If for the sake of a higher benefit you have to sacrifice the lower thing, let's make that sacrifice. So next is Krishna Kumar Das, Hyderabad. We hear that Mayapur Nrsingadev is in mood of Lord Chaitanya. Can you please tell what is the mood of Lord Nrsinga in Ujjain? Who told Lord Nrsinga is in the mood of Chaitanya? I mean, I don't know why this kind of things go. He's Ugra Nrsinga. See his feature. He's about to kill Hiranyakashipu. Who says that that's the mood of Chaitanya? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful. He may have shown some Nrsinga Roop at some time, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the source of all incarnation. But that doesn't mean that that incarnation is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? Try to understand. Lord Nrsingadev in Mayapur is not in the mood of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is the most munificent. Does Lord Nrsingadev look like most munificent? Rather, he is here to tear open the abdomen of Hiranyakashipu. Okay, and as you asked, in which mood is Ujjain Nrsingadev? Same mood as Mayapur Nrsingadev. Ugra Nrsinga. Demons, come here. I will see. That is the mood. Nrsingadev is still warning the demons. You demons, try to come here and be prepared. I'm here. Don't you know? Don't you remember what I did to Hiranyakashipu? If you don't know, then read Prabhupada's books. Next is Vinodvani Dasi from Sydney. Hare Krishna Vinodvani. I am happy to receive this question from you. Guru Maharaj, Mahaprabhu used to relish the pastimes of Nrsingadev and Prahlad Maharaj very much. Yes. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, when Gop Kumar goes to Prahlad Maharaj, he sends him further stating that he is not a great devotee of the Lord. He said that he has not served the Lord actually, and that's why he is not great. Given Prahlad Maharaj's position as an exalted devotee, how do you understand Mahaprabhu's mood for enjoying these pastimes as topmost? Yeah. See, Prahlad Maharaj said that because a devotee is very humble. And devotee always sees someone greater than him. So that's why he displayed that mood. That, oh, you're saying that I'm the greatest devotee. But I was just a child and displayed some childish attachment to the Lord. Just like sometimes a child becomes attached to a toy and plays with the toy. So that is his humble attitude. And that's why, and then he said actually, devotional service, devotee is recognized by the service. And he admitted, I didn't render any service to the Lord. I didn't at least render any remarkable service to the Lord. But look what Hanuman had done for the sake of the Lord. A kind of service that Hanuman rendered, it's unique, unparalleled. So that is how, as a devotee, he is actually pointing out to Hanuman's position as being greater. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is relishing Prahlad Maharaj and Nrsingadev's pastimes for various reasons. One is, look at Prahlad Maharaj's surrender. Isn't it wonderful to have that kind of surrender? Even at the face of death, he is not afraid. He knows whatever the Lord will do, that will be for my benefit. He is not saying, he is not praying to the Lord, oh my Lord, please save me. He is not saying that. His mode is, my Lord, I know you are my greatest well-wisher. So I know whatever you will do will be for my benefit. I have full confidence. So that is the mood of Prahlad Maharaj. What a wonderful mood of devotion. And the mood of the Lord. He is here to protect his devotee under all circumstances. Devotee is not praying for protection, but the Lord is coming out of his way, going out of his way to protect him. So that is why it's such a wonderful pastimes of the Lord. That's all, yeah? Okay, thank you all very much. I wish all of you a very happy Nrsimha Chaturdashi celebration. And I pray to Lord Nrsingadev that he protects all of you and you make progress very nicely in your spiritual life. And let Lord Nrsingadev remove all the impediments, all the obstacles from the path of your devotion. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Jai Shri Shri Nrsimha Bhagavan ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.